It is June 14th, 2023, and this is a site, a microforest prospect that I will call the 23rd Street site. And for context, I am standing across the street, across 23rd Street, immediately north of the site, and that's my little car, which stands in front of some of the most promising parts in terms of establishing a microforest of the site. But the area right in front of me is interesting too, because that very tall grass surrounds a ditch that's got water in it. You can see there's an old fence. It would appear that the west boundary of this prospective site is this gentleman's fence here. We got ourselves a cabbage palm to work with. And then as we move along the north boundary, in other words, walking in this case on the sidewalk of 23rd Street, we're starting to see the nicest part of the site underneath here. Okay, so we've got an incumbent canopy of two types of trees, a majestic oak tree, a live oak, and that is going to create shade over about a third of the, shall we say, juiciest part of the footprint for planting. And then we have two Norfolk Island pines, or Norfolk pines, however you say it, and they do not offer much shade, so they won't be a problem in terms of affecting our planting. So now I am obviously walking in, winding through the trees, and starting to get a view of some pretty attractive turf to replace. So this is the ideal stuff, which is about, 0.05 of an acre of terrain for a classic microforest, where we can put in some canopy trees, especially in that clearing over there. And we can certainly use the Miyawaki strategy of dense planting of native species and ecologically enrich this area in terms of the variety of species, the amount of ecological benefit they provide, and also the quality of a nature opportunity for, sorry about that finger, for the neighborhood. Of course, that's what I'm most excited about, is making this a little forest park that uses Miyawaki. So it'll be a dense forest park, not like spaces between the trees, but it will be a showcase of a lot of beautiful native species. So this gives a sense of pretty much the whole terrain, the relatively small footprint that is in pure sun, but enough for, plenty of canopy trees. Another generous area of partial sun where we'll replace the turf with shade tolerant substory species. And then there's this exciting thing here, which is the ditch full of water. That has standing water in it and some nice bird life. And you can see there's a lot of grass around it that comes back to some area, a point where I guess somebody might be string trimming it. I see some Mexican petunia and a lot of little sunflower relatives, the little wildflowers. And then we have that bank on the far side. And what do we do with that? We obviously wouldn't use a classic Miyawaki planting there, but we could clear out some of the bad stuff and put in perennials. When I say bad stuff, the weedy stuff, and put in perennials that would eventually make a better use of that habitat than year after year of annual and biennial weedy species. So now we're viewing from the south, pretty much center south, sweeping both directions to the ditch on the left, the really nice area of turf where we can do our thing in the middle, and then some shaded turf replacement on the right. And we have a neighbor there and a neighbor there, and there are churches nearby, so you can bet that I will engage with this community as soon as we have the city's go-ahead. Very exciting opportunity for a microforest planting with additional dimensions.